phone in a bit. Paradigm, y'all. Troy City. How's your mama? We get it. Live, 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 live. Paradigm, get it. Live, 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 live. The whole Detroit City, get it. Live, 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 live. Beat the Will Records, baby, get it. Live, 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 live.
What's happening, y'all? It's your buddy Ace, and I'm back to do Ace Answers All Part 4. Part 4. I didn't even know I was going to make it this far. But thank you to everybody who has been watching my videos, and thank you for helping all 3 Ace Answers All videos go over 1,000 hits. It's just amazing. I mean, Ace Answers All Part 3 has over 2,000 hits right now. Wow, I didn't even know I was going to make this one. But the public has spoken, and they know what they want, and they want Ace. So you get what you got, and you got what you get, and you get me. So, it's that time where I got to go into my email address and go look through the questions so I can read them off and answer them the best that I can. Get ready for some music.
Mic check 1313. You want an ill spitter, bill with us, lean on me. And for you bandwagon bastards to the bandit shit, yo, you need to holler at my management. Ain't nothing for free, so I'ma tax that. And you can roll the green, but homie, pass that. You know my scene, we all lab rats. And under my seat, right where the strap at. We only bringing it back to take it past that. And I don't need pictures, my memories just flash back. The flow, Xanax, these blackout boys. You hosts and Scatzax, you do shit with a forge. Not me, I keep it gully cause it's that raw. The women love me, kiss and hug me, I'm a rap star. Let's get this money and have a shot for last call. It's kinda funny cause I just said I was blackballed. Oh! Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back to life. Bring it back now, bring it back now.
Alright. You guys probably know who those songs were, right? The first one was from my buddy Paradigm off his 12 Steps Down. And what's it called? It's one of the coolest songs. It gets you going. And that song was called Live. No, 11 Steps Down. I'm having a blonde moment. Don't mind me. The second song was from Mr. Chief and Sicky Brett from Mr. Chief's Assuming Power album. And Assuming Power now has over 21 to 22,000 uploads on iTunes. Way to go, Chief. Alright, here we go. First question. First question is, if you had the option to know when you were going to die, would you want to know, and why? That's a good question. Because if you knew when you were going to die, then you could know how much time you'd have left to do the things you've always said you wanted to do. But if you didn't know, that means that every day would be a new adventure. It'd be unpredictable. You'd live every day like it was going to be the last. So I'd have to say I'm a little torn between yes and no. And one, because I would like to know how much time I have left. But two, if I knew how much time I had left, that would really ruin it, you know? Because then you'd be rushing yourself, and stress can kill you too. So pretty much half yes, half no. Number two is, how would you explain love to someone who had never heard of it before? I'd say sit down, buckle the seatbelt, tighten it, and get ready for an interesting ride. Number three is, have you ever had feelings for someone who didn't feel the same? And if so, what did you do? I think everybody goes through that. There is always, not always, but sometimes you have feelings for someone who doesn't have the same feelings that you have for them. But pretty much I have had that happen, and what I did was I pretty much, got over it, moved on, and looked for someone who did feel the same. So that's pretty much how I handled that. Number four, if you could go back in time to any era, where would you go? I'd go back to the 50s and 60s and see Elvis Presley perform live. That would be awesome. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought that was number 5. Anyway, the question is, what's the one thing you dislike about most people? The fact that they judge too quickly. Some people judge too quickly. They assume too much, too soon, before even knowing the actual truth or knowing how a person is. They just assume, like they think okay, this is how that person is, they're probably like that all the time or something. They don't read into a person. You should never judge a book by the cover, because you never know, you might like what you'll read. The next question is, what's one goal you would like to achieve this year? This year I would like to possibly meet Eminem or Kid Rock. That would be awesome. That would be great. Next question is, you're such a nice guy. Have you ever been a jerk in your life? As much of a nice guy as I am, and as much of a sincere gentleman as I can be, there are times, very little times, where I have been, but it's because if you hurt someone I care about, someone I know, someone dear to me like a family member or a really, really close friend, I get very vocal, and I can be a jerk. But it rarely ever happens, and I don't get physical. Nothing is ever solved when you fight. The only thing that it adds is police reports. So the next question is, if you were trying to impress a girl on a first date, what kind of night would you plan? I'd have to say that would be for me to know and for the girl to find out, whoever the woman is. Whoever she might be, you know. So that answers that one. The next question is, where is the farthest you've gone in the United States? And honestly, I've been almost everywhere in the United States. I've been as south as Florida, as west as California, and as east as West Virginia. Everywhere except for like the middle part of the country. So I've been all over the place. In the words of Johnny Cash, I've been everywhere, man. The next question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? That's a good question. Not as good as the first question I answered, but still good. Possibly, hopefully still working, financially set, possibly living on my own, and alive. Healthy. You know, pretty much just hopefully still alive. The next question is, what is the best time you've had celebrating a holiday so far? Now, I celebrate a lot of holidays. I celebrate 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Halloween, NASCAR Sunday, but that's my own holiday. And I celebrate Cinco de Mayo, which is also my brother's birthday, so we go down to Mexican Town and party it up. And I celebrate St. Patty's Day. That's the best celebration so far this year. Me and a really good friend of mine, she invited me to go with her to just hang out and party, and so we totally rocked Ypsilanti. We went to a few places and then ended up at Smarty Cat's and was there until it closed, and it was the best time I've had so far celebrating a holiday. The next question is, and it's the last question, how did you get the name Ace? That's a very good question. But again, probably not as good as the first, but still, that's finally someone is asking that question. You see, from kindergarten till 9th grade, I was the punching bag for bullies all around the Redford area. I was picked on, called names, shoved around. I had games played on me, teased. Girls would pretend that they liked me just so they can laugh behind my back. And then in 9th grade, Ace Ventura came out, starring Jim Carrey, and I was watching and I'm like, this dude's making everybody laugh just by making faces, different voices, and walking funny, and they're loving it. So I decided I started imitating Jim Carrey. I imitated his moves, his facial expressions, I memorized his movie lines, And so kids in high school started calling me the Ace Man. And it got shortened to Ace Man, and then the Ace Man, and then people just started calling me Ace. And that's stuck with me ever since. 16 years so far. And so that's the story. And now you know, that's why they call me ACE. Thought you'd like that. Well, that was the last question for this round. Thank you so much again for watching, and thank you to everyone who sent in their questions. I'd like to give a few shout-outs before I go. A big shout-out to Amy White, David, Danielle, Amy, and Loretta Bassett, Jennifer Haas. I'd like to give a great big shout-out to a friend of mine who just overcame cancer. She beat it. She totally beat it. Violet, I am so glad that you're doing better. Prayers have been answered. I'd like to give a shout out to Jesse and Jared Brown, my buddy Nerp. He's funny. I'd like to give a shout out to my favorite comedian, stand-up comedian right now, Mr. Mike Stanley. What's happening? I'd like to give a shout out to my cousin in California. How's it going, Paige? And remember, if things go well for Ace Answers All Part 4, as they have gone so far for Ace Answers All Part 1, 2, and 3, I might just be back for Ace Answers All Part 5. Take care, God bless, and go Junior. Have a good day.